you've heard a lot about how artificial intelligence is going to change the workplace, but what's science fact and what's science fiction? I'm joined today by Professor Al Naqvi of the American Institute of Artificial Intelligence, who has 20 years of experience in technology and finance, a former CFO himself, who's here to shed a little bit of light on how AI technology is going to change accounting and finance. So let's get started with the basics. Artificial intelligence, is it real? Is it here to stay? Is it just a fad?
It's absolutely real. It's more real than anything that we have encountered before in human civilization. In some ways, it's as real as the internet, if not more. And it will impact all sectors. It will impact all areas of our life, how we conduct business, how we do things. This is full-scale automation that's coming in. And in human civilization, in our entire history, we have automated work that was mechanical work. It means that physical work is what we automated, so we move from point A to point B using a car. This is the first time that we are now automating cognitive work. And that means that cognitive work involves, the potential is unlimited. All the things that humans do and can potentially be automated. I'm not saying that all of that will happen in the next year or 2 years, but this is not a change that's reversible. I think governments all over the world, responsible governments understand that. That's why there is so much emphasis being placed on that at all levels, especially from Russia, United States, China. All of these countries are now understanding the value of artificial intelligence, and that competitive advantage of firms as well as competitive advantage of countries will depend on our ability to exploit and use these technologies.
Okay, so you talk about how this is already happening, how we're going to see even more changes in the next year or two. What specifically is changing for accounting and finance?
Sure, let's start with the very basics. Let's start with management accounting. Management accounting, we were used to doing analysis the regular way, and we would mostly go for the known parts, what we know, and we know that, and so, but we will discover something. But with artificial intelligence now, not only we can automate a lot of things, for example, using robotic process automation, which is just simply updates and routine tasks that can be automated, but also using machine learning to explore and discover things and patterns that didn't exist before, that we didn't know that existed. And then we can use that information now, go back to the management team, and show trends and opportunities that we never thought are possible. On the financial accounting side, you have transaction automation, you have report automation, you have even regulators looking at using natural language processing to understand disclosures and how they impact human decision making. And then on the auditing side, you have discovery part, you have control assessment that can be done entirely using automation. You have on the auditing side fraud detection and pattern matching to understand that if there is something, an anomaly has happened, and that can be reported back to you. So also, again, on the auditing side, also disclosures part that I mentioned, natural language processing, used to understand management behavior and how they're disclosing just by looking at the words and the language that is included in financial statements, for example, or annual reports. So in addition to that, obviously, if we go downstream to taxation, automated again with H&R Block and IBM partnership with Watson, and in addition to that, you're looking at on the financial investment part, from portfolio management to trading, all of that is being automated now. So the entire spectrum of what we do in the finance and the accounting world is being automated.
Well, lest our viewers get too fearful, we are automating a lot of their daily processes, but what opportunities are being created with artificial intelligence?
So the important part is that machines are not, as much as they're a solution, they're also a problem. So every solution requires, creates a problem that you need to solve. So, but to do that, we need to understand how machines behave. We need to develop an understanding and comfort level with machines. So think of it this way, that as you would do, when internet came, you would go and first register a domain name and then register your company because you knew the importance of e-strategy at that point. And the same thing is happening now. When you think about your business models, as you think about what work you do, think beforehand that how AI will change that and what opportunities and problems it will create from the governance perspective, a big issue in AI. So entire practice areas can be set around governance of AI, and new types of skills will be needed by accounting and finance professionals to incorporate that part of automation that's coming in now.
So what types of new skills would you recommend?
Most importantly, again, and I give this example that, of Ariana Huffington, who launched Huffington Post. She understood that newspaper delivery model is changing, not the consumption of news. We actually consume much more news now than we did when we had newspapers, paper-based newspapers. So she was not a programmer. She didn't program the site, but she knew that she can invent a business model based on taking advantage of internet. Amazon, the same thing. Amazon.com, the same exact thing. So think in terms of understanding what technology can do and what are the possibilities. So if you're an accounting professional, if you're a finance professional, and you don't understand at this point things like robotic process automation, machine learning, for example, what's the difference between supervised, unsupervised learning, reinforcement learning, deep learning, where these things are going and what you can do with them, I think that those are the areas that you need to focus on. So you don't have to become a math expert, you don't have to become a technology expert, but at least from a business person's perspective, you need to have a very good understanding of how you can apply these technologies and what they would mean for you. And you can also take that knowledge back to your clients. It also means that some of the other things will change. How you think about strategy, how you think about people, how do you become sensitive to the interaction between machines and humans? You have to acquire all of those skills. And that is the future, and I think that we need to get ready for it.
And I'm so excited that our members are getting ready for this. For example, we have the Finance Redefined track at the Engage conference this June. We're going to put a link to that in the comments section below. But that's all about preparing our members for the technology aspect. And then the Human Intelligence series, which you're all tuning into right now, is all about developing those critical thinking skills, those human skills to help you beat the bot. So is there anything else you would like to leave our viewers with today? Absolutely.
The most important thing is that keep a positive attitude about this technology. There is a lot of rumors being spread about, what it can, all the negative part of it. We should not ignore that. That's important, and some of the greatest scientists have pointed out the problems with it. But that's why we exist. We exist so that we can solve those problems that the technology will create. And this profession, finance accounting profession, will be key to doing that, because that's where most of the problems can happen and will happen. But at the same time, we need to embrace it first and then start addressing those problems in a stepwise manner and collectively, and with what I call re-intellectualize ourselves and reskill ourselves. So both things are important. Re-intellectualize meaning that how our thinking style and pattern changes to accommodate this in this new model. And I think that will be very, very important to educate yourself. Re-intellectualize and reskill yourself.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. Just see the opportunities and prepare for them.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today. And thank you guys for tuning in. We hope you'll catch us on another session of Human Intelligence.